Do you not know the harm you cause when you say shit like this? Circa 2016, I listened to Clean Prince Gaming's essays, but bounced after I realized that my opinions largely didn't align with his. I felt that a lot of his output seemed to be collective community sentiments and not specifically his own, and when he hit fandoms I was a part of, I had the same, oh god, he's full of shit reaction that I had with Illuminati long before H-Bomber Guy's character assassination of James Somerton. Now I feel like the poo has it for you meme, talking about so many names at once like that. Anyway, I've always been in the camp of try new things, see what you like in gaming terms. Sometimes a cohort recommends a game just because it has frogs in it, sometimes I find an interesting developer on Blue Sky, sometimes I discover a neat looking demo, sometimes I watch or listen to a review. Speaking of which, I'm pretty entrenched into Second Wind as a fan, and I handle their curator page for them. So I have a steady stream of anywhere between 3 and 7 games a week to put on the list, unless someone pulls a fast one like Marty did with his video, 20 rad games you missed in 2025, where 17 of those titles are on Steam and go on the list. And considering my Steam library and how much is directly informed by what I put on the list, it's kind of strange to realize I don't really follow a particular person for their reviews. Every single host has their unique tastes, and the most common overlap are Souls-like games. But I did initially follow Zero Punctuation and now Fully Ramblematic, and a number of my favorite games come straight from Yahtzee's reviews. As time went on, I found myself not enjoying what he had to say as much, and that was just in time for the team to expand with 3-minute reviews back on The Escapist. Everyone had things to say about games, good and bad. This is as true about when the team was with The Escapist as it is now that they're an independent outlet as Second Wind. However, I've been intently listening to everyone's reviews to hear what they have to say to append or summarize in less than 200 characters. I literally just did that with Fully Ramblematic today. Some days are harder than others. Some are just as simple as quoting a Discord message. And even games that I like and the reviewer dislikes, or vice versa, I still diligently summarize because it's not my words I'm putting on there. But when I do have things to say, I make my own video, and doing those reviews are a challenge. There's a pretty simple flow to what I've done, sort of directly inspired by Bite-Sized. I ask myself these questions. Do I like this game? What do I like about it? Talk about those things and why. Do I have issues? Clarify them. Do I recommend this? Why or why not? But even with that simple structure, it's still difficult to articulate all of my thoughts. What specifically do I say? I'm used to researching something, putting it to paper, and then figure out if I want to make a video afterward. Where's the research for a review? Am I supposed to take a magnifying glass to my brain? And that's what has me staring at this remark from Balerian boss Sven Vink. Let me read it in full. Sometimes I think it'd be a good idea for critics to be scored Metacritic style based on how others evaluate their criticism. I like to imagine it would encourage a bit more restraint. The harsh words do real damage. You shouldn't have to grow a callus on your soul just because you want to polish something. Respectfully, what the hell are you talking about? This was an early tweet in a thread on Vink's Twitter account. It's not his complete thoughts, but he continued, seemingly unprompted, talking about how he seems to think negative reviews are unfair, including mentioning a reviewer who didn't review games he thought were failures. Do you know the pressures non-independent reviewers are under most of the time to fill a quota, especially now in 2026, in the age of AI slop? The same people like Vink who've called for these sorts of ethics in video games journalism are more often than not people who try and shame games for not having a white man as a protagonist, for being openly and flagrantly queer, and in the year of our Lord 2026, for killing Nazis. Vink should know this, because Larian had a hit on their hands with Baldur's Gate 3, where your player's sexual party doesn't care what gender you are, or what genitals you have, they just want to romance you. I played several games that released in 2025, and dozens of demos during Next Fest, but I only reviewed like 3 of those releases. I have many things to say about games and devs alike, but to put that into thought and words requires a concerted effort. Not to mention, what kind of score are you talking about? Reliability? Honesty? You're rating someone's opinion of a game who themselves are rating a game. More often than not, it's someone who can't spend a whole lot of time with it, so their experience is informed by a limited number of hours. Let's put this into a practical test. I have, according to Steam, 141 hours in Baldur's Gate 3, and I have incredibly mixed feelings about it. I don't know much about the Forgotten Realms as a whole, but I know D&D. The story was as grandiose as a multi-year campaign, but small details made it better than any other story I've been a part of. It felt human. I missed that in a lot of RPGs I've played. However, I could not get into the CRPG side of things, and that made even playing on easy mode unfulfilling. That and the environments made of flesh made me want to crawl out of my skin and throw up. And thanks to someone outside of those who I've mentioned here, this game has been irrevocably ruined for me. I can't recommend this game if you're well and truly informed by my incredibly specific niche experience. But even non-CRPG fans love Baldur's Gate 3, and so I live and let live. So genuinely, how would you rate me? Because I would not rate me well. First off, CRPGs are outside of my wheelhouse. I cannot functionally keep track of everything effectively, remember key shortcuts, or create an effective build for a character. My last D&D game, I played a wise barbarian who stopped more fights than they started, and I could not emulate that in this game. Secondly, the environments were so well designed that they made me sick. Is that something to praise? Is that something to detract? I don't know. Thirdly, this game hasn't been ruined for you because of me or someone else who made the experience just that bad, so why should you listen to me saying I don't recommend it for reasons that are particular to my traumatic experience? Put simply, I am not a good reviewer for this game, not because I'm a bad writer or that I might have bad opinions, but because of factors I listed before. Not my kind of game, horror that hit my particular notes, and my horrible experiences with other people. Ultimately, what I recommend is to find a set of reviewers that you like, whether it's particular individuals or a whole group, and see how your tastes align with theirs. I've followed along with Second Wind and found some lovely titles that I like, that I dislike, and can't play thanks to them. And lastly, don't search for objectivity in your reviews. What you consider to be objective is, more often than not, your subjectivity being imposed for something absolute. In metaphorical terms, this can be as simple as finding fish in water and coming to the conclusion that all water contains fish, and all fish must be in water. I have to imagine your shock when you go to the seafood counter at the store and find fish not in water, or go to the water aisle and find that there's water with no fish. If I were to review Shovel Knight objectively, then it would be all facts and no opinions. It'd be drier than your mother. In fact, let me give you a sample. Shovel Knight Treasure Trove was developed and published by Yacht Club Games after a successful Kickstarter campaign. Content updates added 3 new campaigns and a versus mode. The titular character has appeared in many other games, including as a skin for Nash in Brawlhalla, an assist trophy in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and a subsequent title from Yacht Club Games called Shovel Knight Dig. Did you notice anything in that paragraph that would indicate an opinion? That is objectivity. Facts about the game, the developer, collaborations, but not any opinions on this game that I absolutely love. Now, if you don't mind, I'm gonna heck off before I take the word objectivity and shove it up someone's ass!